like going to her mat and lying down and offering some very nice behaviors there, we're gonna start shaping the consent portion of it. So I only present the mat when I want Ziggy or any other dog to know that, hey, we're gonna actually start working on these skills now. So I keep the mat up for a majority of the time unless I'm actively working on this or we're going to the vet and working on some cooperative care stuff. And then I'll bring the mat out, and when we're done, I'll release her from the mat and then I'll pick that back up so that she's only getting reinforced when I have an opportunity to do so. So I'm gonna send her away for a second just so I have an opportunity to place the mat down. And for her, I'm using a towel. Yes. So you notice there, the second that her feet touch the mat, I use my marker word, Y-E-S, yes, and tossed a treat onto the mat to help reinforce, this is where I want you to go. Oh, she found it, yes. So, yes, I'm gonna warm up a little bit, yes, just by reinforcing her for being on the mat, free, and then I'll send her away and let her reset. Yes. Feet got onto the mat again, yes. So I marked and fed her for the moment her feet touched the mat and the moment that she lied down, yes. Yes. Free, yes. So the point of a consent mat, yes, is that this is a consensual relationship between us. I, the trainer, and her as the dog. I don't want her to ever feel like there is a displacement and like I'm gonna force her into something. Yes, because that just makes her uncomfortable and kind of dampens my relationship with her. Yes. So if at any point, yes, she acts like she is uncomfortable by the way I am progressing, then I'm just gonna back up and go to the last point she was successful and make her a little bit more comfortable there, because that means I moved too far too quick. Yes. So to start shaping reaching towards her, I'm gonna simply start offering my hand at a farther away angle, yes. And then gradually move closer with how comfortable she is. So to start shaping, just moving towards her, I'm gonna offer a hand away, yes. And mark and feed just for her noticing that. Yes. 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 Now, when I eventually go to touch her, I'm not going to touch her somewhere like her feet or the top of her head that might be a little sensitive. I'm going to start with a non-sensitive area first and gradually move up to those harder areas for her. Yes. And then when I begin touching her non-sensitive areas, yes, I do it quickly with very minimal pressure. Yes, and just lightly touching her. Yes. 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 Since she's, yes, super comfortable with me just lightly touching her right shoulder here, yes, I'm gonna try a new area and still see if she has that same level of comfortability. In that moment, I touched her shoulder and she kind of leaned and looked back because she was curious what I was doing back there. So yes, she stood up eventually. I gave her an opportunity to lie back down so we can start adding in the consent portion of this. If at any time your dog gets up because they're uncomfortable or weirded out by what you just did, it's important for you to let them have that opportunity to come back. If they don't want to come back, that means, hey, that was too hard for me. I really didn't like where that was going. And we can start fresh again at that last successful step. Yes. So because she was uncomfortable with me touching her neck, yes, I start back at the shoulder again. And then I can gradually increase to her neck again. Yes. 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 So that time I was able to move up a little bit further up her neck. Yes. So even though Ziggy didn't stand up that time because she was uncomfortable, she was just trying to get another treat, I'm still gonna respect those same rules because I want her and I to have a very clear understanding of what we're working towards here. Yes. Yes. So I'm slowly working down to a more sensitive area, and it helps that I'm not surprising her, right? There's a very clear order of what we're doing here. Yes. 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 So I'll offer the treat on the mat. Yes. And when she chose to lie back down, I marked and treated her for lying back down again. Yes. 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 So because we made progress towards a sensitive area, I'm going to give her a little break because that's hard work. Free. And if she wants to come back, yes. Then she gets rewarded for that too. Yes. The more you practice this with your dog, the more they're gonna want to be on the consent mat. If they get heavily rewarded for being on there every time and it's a fun, consensual opportunity for them, they're gonna continuously come back to the mat. Yes, if your dog starts to show any sign of aversion towards being on the mat, that might mean we worked way too fast or tried to make too much progress in a short amount of time, and we need to take some things back for our dog to help make them feel more comfortable in that time.